This is something I want you never to forget. Be a participator, at least to say yes or no. That low level of awareness to say yes or no. You can change your mind. But participate, because if you don't, you're dead. Use it or lose it. Observer is not enough anymore for a human being. So that's very important to do, those two words. Observing, and out of observing, which is the first step, is then to participate. And it's either yes or no. It's that simple. You can enlarge that yes or no. You can decide to run or not run. But as a unit, you see, like, there was that Vesuvius, that volcano that blew up with dust and everything. A lot of people went to grab their money and their valuables, and they got engulfed with all the ashes, and you see their remains still there today. It's a tourist trap. Because they said, no, I cannot run. I have to have my money. My goal. You see, so they were trapped in the disaster, much like 9/11. You see, people in the buildings of 9/11, those two buildings, had plenty enough money to get out of there, but they did not. And the reason why they did not was they did not participate in the instinct to survive. Well, we were told to stay at our desk until we're told what to do. That's number one. When you give your thought away to participate to somebody else, your boss, your paycheck, or your mother, or the church, organized religion, you've screwed. You see? But all these movies are going to be coming out. There's some out already. You see? About 9/11, airplanes, hijacking. Why does X number of people get out of the towers, but X number of people stayed and got caught? It was because they were not participating in this instinct to run, like wild animals. Animals run. The Chinese use animals. They watch animal behavior in their countryside, because animals have an instinct that picks up the energy that's moving through the ground before the goddamn thing starts. And they run away from the energy. They feel it through their legs. And they run. And then the Chinese men say, oh, I think there's going to be an earthquake. Why? Well, the horses get skittish. The sheep are even moving. You see? And sheep very seldom move. So it's an instinct. You see? Human beings do not want to observe if they have instincts. They think instincts are not human, are good enough to live by. But they're the basis of that. Because it's the instincts that help fortify what you're observing. But observing is not enough. You have to participate or you're dead meat. These men, with their male children, in football stadiums, in basketball buildings, observing the game, or in this bar. Get out there, that's the way to do it. Oh, you made a mistake. Run, no, don't go that way. It's the stage mother. The theater world is called the stage mother. They made great musical about that. Rose, what it was called. The stage mother, when her Rose, get out there and dance. It's called being a stage mother. Theatrical terming means that the mother is trying to live through the daughter. These models, these 4 or 5 years, Renee Ramsey was a model. The girl, but her mother was the stage mother. Her mother was living through her daughter. You see, she had her performing stuff where she should have been 21 years of age. Here she was 6 and 8. You know, so the mother no longer could participate, so she was participating in life through her daughter. You see? Sure. But she couldn't say yes or no. She said, yes, I participated through my mother. Often people do that. Men want their sons to become, if they're doctors, they want their sons to be doctors. Now they want their daughters to be doctors. But they used to be, if the father's a lawyer, they want the son to be a lawyer. See? Okay. It's no freedom of choice. To participate gives you that freedom of choice. Okay, that's enough of that. Now, once you figure out there has to be something bigger than you, taller than you, higher power, if you want to use that expression, something that's more powerful than you, or brighter than you, or wealthier than you can run to Hollywood and look for, what's her name, was taken to the hospital because you can look for Britney Spears and model yourself after Britney Spears because she's got the model, she's white, she's got all the accoutrements. Or you can model yourself after Dillinger, become a big bad gangster, only robbing to the poor, giving to the rich. There's many models out there, but you're really not. It's imitation. It's not participation. It's imitation. You're imitating. You see, you're not really participating. Buying all the New York hat logos and sweaters don't make it. You see? You got it? Have I beaten this dog to death for you? Okay. Now you're looking for a store, but it's something that's more fun, like in the fire, Quest of Fire. They were looking for the biggest boulder to block that cave, and that cave is real big. So they needed a lot of boulders, so they pulled in branches and trees and other animals. Elephant could come and pick that tree up and throw it away. And so they were always looking for a better mousetrap, as they say. Because they had the instinct to survive, and they needed to know. So they were observers, and finally they learned how to participate. When they learned about the fire could give them burnt meat, which would be a good steak, well done, and it tasted a little bit better than they went raw meat, they knew enough to participate by saving the flame, so it could be used again and again and again. See, so they signed the old man who had nothing else to do, and all he had to do was hang on. So they gave him the job of protecting the flame. He did not understand what his job was. I mean, he knew he had to protect the flame because the big guy said so. But he didn't know the value of it.
Right.
He was somewhat observing, but he was forced into participate, but not freedom. It was much like running away from 9/11. He was forced to participate, and that's not freedom. Life must be free to move. Liberty means you have the ability or the liberty to make a decision to participate and say yes or no.
Now, if you force yourself to do something you don't want to do, that's still freedom because it's your choice.
It's your choice, but you have to take the consequences. You cannot be exempt. See, that's cause and effect. Every cause has an effect. And selfishness or ignorance is no excuse. So we're looking for something, and we don't know what we're looking for because we can't really find it with our five senses. Very important. The Spears just showed up. So we're looking for something, and so we're referring to it as a spirit. So we're going to look that word up in this dictionary. And it tells me here, my instructions to myself was to turn to 1737. And it says spirit, a vital principle. Now principle means how a thing works. It doesn't still say what spirit is. It's a principle though, because they know it has something to function. It's moving. Animating force. So spirit means something is moving. Still don't know what it is, but we'll call it spirit. Something is moving. It's not stationary. Because of animating force. It's in corporal consciousness. And that goes on to further explain what this principle is. But that will stop right there. All these other things go into ad nauseum about the spirit and movement is, including an alcoholic beverage. Because the alcoholic beverage is properly named spirit because it's a mood changer. So it is active, very active. Alright, now we know a spirit is an animating principle. We know that much about the scientists here. We're finding out what the hell is this thing that I need to know to protect myself and to participate in it. I want to know what am I dealing with. So, or any other way you can say that yourself, it's fine. Now, so the next thing is, we find out it's an animating principle. So let's look up principle.